streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Vox Radio, along with Then Sings My Soul Productions, is pleased to announce Wyoming Paris's Then Sings My Soul musical. The TSMS group is seeking support in our movement concerning domestic violence. This soul-stirring stage production is not to entertain, but to educate, encourage, and help eradicate this horrible disease that's plaguing women, men, and children who are affected daily in households across the world. Please join us in supporting 3-year-old Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund. Skylar's grandmother was murdered by her fiance, then leaving Skylar's mother at age 3 to be raised by her uncle and maternal grandmother. To make your tax-deductible donation to a Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund and for ticket information on Then Sings My Soul stage play in Brooklyn, New York on May 5th and 6th, visit thensingsmysoul.org. That's www.thensingsmysoul.org. Vox Radio, along with Then Sings My Soul Productions, is pleased to announce Wyoming Paris's Then Sings My Soul musical. The TSMS group is seeking support in our movement concerning domestic violence. This soul-stirring stage production is not to entertain, but to educate, encourage, and help eradicate this horrible disease that's plaguing women, men, and children who are affected daily in households across the world. Please join us in supporting 3-year-old Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund. Skylar's grandmother was murdered by her fiance, then leaving Skylar's mother at age 3 to be raised by her uncle and maternal grandmother. To make your tax-deductible donation to a Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund and for ticket information on Then Sings My Soul stage play in Brooklyn, New York on May 5th and 6th, visit thensingsmysoul.org. That's www.thensingsmysoul.org.
Enhance your listening experience. VoxWave.com.
Check out all your favorite shows at VoxWave.com. On Mondays, we keep it moving with the Kim Show from 11 to 1 p.m. Then it's time for a change with Sherry and Mignon, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then in the end we win with Curtis, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. On Tuesdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Start your afternoon with the Wealth Zone with Raymond Starks. Then it's Cooking with Flavors with Chef Flavors, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And treat yourself right with My Spa Bath and Body, hosted by Margaret Harris, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Up next is Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, rocking from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, you can't miss Impact the World with Cheryl Woods, 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we got Slick Talk with Oscar D, and it's the Kid. VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
And business.
Enhance your listening experience. VoxWave.com.
Check out all your favorite shows at VoxWave.com. On Mondays, we keep it moving with the Kim Show from 11 to 1 p.m. Then it's time for a change with Sherry and Mignon, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then in the end we win with Curtis, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. On Tuesdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Start your afternoon with the Wealth Zone with Raymond Starks. Then it's Cooking with Flavors with Chef flavors, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And treat yourself right with My Spa Bath and Body, hosted by Margaret Harris, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Up next is Slick Daddy Ready, Heartbeat Congo Hour, rocking from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, you can't miss Impact the World with Cheryl Woods, 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we got Slick Talk with Oscar D and It's the Kid. Then from 8 to 9 p.m., we crank it up with Live Set Wednesdays, hosted by Reg Gaskins. And after that, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m., the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. And check out our Thursday lineup, starting with You, Math, and Me, hosted by George Randall from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Then from 7 to 9 p.m., the 640 Evening Show with DJ 640. And on Fridays, we start out with Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stan, co-host Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen of Sudabed, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. From 10:30 to 11:30, the Hall Street Journal with Robert Hall and co-host Clarence Sanders. And after that, you know we gotta check in with Shaynel's 3 Cents, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Up next, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Daryl Allen Hairston II Crime Victims Foundation Show with your host, Daryl Hairston. Then, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique. And from 9:15 to 11:15 p.m., you can't miss Different Mind Show with Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, co-host Hillary Banks. Then start out your Saturday mornings with the Healer Blues Show, hosted by Ron Jackson. After that, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., the Hour of Power with Reverend Winters Rogers. Then, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, it's time for prayer, praise, and deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr. Four Sisters Live Talk, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Then every second Saturday, listen to Turning Dreams into Reality Talk Show with Tashika L. Green, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. After that, from 3 to 4 p.m., we walk in newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette. And don't miss, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., news, ULM News and Analysis, information, sports, Black history, with your host, news anchor Roderick Carter Withers, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Then, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for DJ Rick, the CEO of Step Your Game Up, the Youth Project, co-hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe. And then, at 7:45 to 8:45 p.m., it's time for the Fantastic Live Show with MC Fran. And starting out on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I am Dr. Sharon Show with Dr. Sharon. And every first Sunday, from 3 to 4 p.m., it's the Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour. And every third Sunday, check out the Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Then it's time for Real Talk 101, 6 to 8 p.m. And from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m., we're tuned into the Gospel Live TV show with Glory Mello. Stay tuned to Vox Wave, where you can find all your favorite shows.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
Ain't that cold? Be a damn sight cheaper. Yes, it would. Started riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. The rent's gone up higher.
afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of Shaynel's 3 Cents. I'm your host, Shaynel Caldwell, and you are here with Shaynel's 3 Cents from Our Blended Families. What we're going to talk about today is a very important topic, and I certainly have to make this disclaimer before I go into this. And those of you that are familiar with what I talk about and my perspective on many of the issues surrounding society, especially around family life education, you know that I speak directly. I'm very frank and I'm very honest. My favorite 4-letter word, and you'll hear me repeat it here on the show, one, because it bears repeating, is we talk about facts, facts versus feelings. We certainly want to make sure that we're paying attention to both, but we also want to ensure that we have the facts correct before we go into how we feel about the facts and or the situation. So again, this is the disclaimer for today's issue. If you're faint of heart or if you're easily offended and or sensitive, there's a little button on your computer that you can press to click and go to another screen, and or please shut down your laptop and or turn off your Facebook because it's going to be coming at you hard, fast, and furious. Circling back into the wonderful events of this week, we certainly had a lot of things that happened, not only within Prince George's County, but particularly within the government. A lot of us saw and read into many of the commentary behind the White House Correspondents' Dinner last week, where one of my favorite comedians, Michelle Wolf, gave her awesome, hilariously funny presentation on all things circling the political realm, things going on in society, things going on in her personal life. But again, it was a huge, huge success. However, there was a lot of backlash. The backlash came primarily from those sensitive left-wing folks that are happy to offend anyone, their mama, their disabled cousins, their immigrant relatives, anyone that they choose to do so. But when she tried to give it a little back and, of course, spread a spotlight on it, they were easily offended. And it was kind of, I don't want to say if I was more amused / bewildered / confused / are you serious? These are the same people that did not have a problem with our president mocking a disabled man. These are the same people that did not have an issue with our president. And mind you, he wasn't president then, and he certainly wasn't saying it on a platform. But when he talked about grabbing women by the pussy and kissing women that he knew were married, that were unavailable, and women that didn't want to receive those type of advances. But that's the type of person that he is. Now, aside from that, when he was still a public figure, again, not the president, he said this in front of the cameras, oh, she's gaining so much weight, and this was for the then Miss America. She looks like Miss Piggy. He went to his statements about how various other celebs looked, about how, she's fat, she's not cute, she needs to fix her face, she has surgery. You can see the lining on her face from the woman from one of the news commentary shows. But he loves to talk about people, and I certainly don't have a problem with that. However, there are certain platforms where that type of behavior is acceptable. So why was there a problem with Michelle Wolf, where she was on a platform where her type of behavior and her presentation was entirely acceptable? It was, people keep saying, oh, it wasn't a roast. No, it wasn't an official roast, but it was in a roast-like setting. Previous White House Correspondents' Dinners have had the same content. They've had not so much the same reaction. There are folks on the left that say, well, she probably got the reaction because she was a woman. And then there are other folks saying, well, no one has ever said anything like that. But again, we've also had a nice slew of Democratic presidents for the last 2 sessions. Fortunately, it was the same one. But again, still trying to figure out where the backlash was. And so in saying all that, today we're going to talk about an issue that if you're sensitive, if you think this is going to hurt your feelings, if you have a problem with facts that you feel some type of way about, again, please tune off, because we're going to talk about the facts. We're also going to talk about ways that this particular topic is going to help individuals, how we can bring more information, and of course have access to those resources that can lead us into a better figure, not a better figure, but a better standing for the women, men, and children within our society. So again, for those of you that are strong, you have tough skin, you can take it, please stay tuned as we bring about our first guest for the day. But again, if you have an issue, it was so great seeing you today. Feel free to tune in a couple of weeks after we wrap this up. So again, we're going to take our first break, and we'll be back with our first guest on Shaynel's 3 Cents. See you in a minute. wonderful, beautiful guest, Miss Pamela M. Hawk from Serenity's Door, Inc., and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and how she got started with her organization, where it's located, and all the wonderful things that her organization is doing. So, Miss Pam.
Thank you, Shaynel. Again, my name is Pamela Hawk, and I'm the founder of Serenity's Door, and we're a nonprofit organization based in Prince George's County, Maryland, and we assist women and children affected by domestic violence. I started with Serenity's Door, I'm going to say 7 years ago. I'm also a survivor of domestic abuse. So that created the passion to want to do something. Mm-hmm. You know, once I got out of my abusive marriage, I'm also a mother of 4. So it made my situation a lot more challenging to just, like people always say, just leave. You know, you should just leave. So I know some of the challenges that I've faced personally, hopelessness, homelessness, and we also always talk about the different aspects of abuse. Mm-hmm. We sometimes we neglect to realize there's also financial abuse. Mm-hmm. And by us, my ex-husband and I, having 4 children together, his child support was a nice amount that was owed to me. So when he made the conscious decision to say, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to move to another state, you know, it made my level of adversity even more of a challenge. So like I said, that's how I got started with my organization, and it's my passion. I also do motivational speaking, but my true passion is the community service, mm-hmm. Empowering, helping in the community, partnering with the different local shelters, state and local county jails. We did a workshop at Jessup in Jessup, Maryland.
The facility up in Jessup.
Yes, mm-hmm. We did a 2-day workshop there. And it was myself, and I also brought 3 women with, it was a total of 6, so I brought 5 women with me, and we did a two-day workshop, and it was awesome, just hearing the stories from the women and sharing our personal stories. Right. And that brings us to, you know, other issues. Like I said, it was myself and 5 other women, and out of the 5 women, 6 women, myself included, 4 of them have been victimized by childhood sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. So, you know, domestic abuse covers a whole gamut of different types of abuse. So
absolutely. And I was very fortunate to meet you within working in your activism. Right. And I think that the primary thing that impressed me upon meeting you was not only knowing that you had an organization that you provided this information, you provided right. these resources, you held these activities, but right. that you said, this is not all I'm going to do. This right. is not all we're going to encourage women right. and other survivors of domestic abuse. We're going to make sure that we're focusing on what else is happening in our communities and how we can correct that. Right. You know, what else is going on in our political realm? Right. You know, who are we surrounded by? You know, what's going on with our utility companies? Is there a vote about they're changing the utilities or something like that? So I was very impressed with your activism and how you promote that to, you know, your supporters. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I mean, I think that staying active, you know, just coming up with a title and saying, okay, I'm an organization, mm-hmm. donate. I totally disagree with that. Since from day one, I've always been active in the community. Mm-hmm. That's my true passion. Speaking events, I kind of shy away from those because I enjoy being behind the scenes and helping other, like we were talking about, helping mm-hmm. other organizations, you know, and the different events they may have or the different programs that they may have in place. So that's my true passion, just helping people and seeing people, you know, go from hopeless to empowering and empowered, and then they're able to empower other people. So that's my true passion.
Awesome. I had, and you and I actually touched on this topic because today we're going to talk about how to get out of the victimization cycle. You mentioned earlier that some of the women that you helped were survivors of childhood sexual abuse.
Absolutely.
And there's certainly a pattern that falls into that circle about how some people are attracted to abuse. And when you read some of the psychological papers, and of course there are numerous white papers and research that has been posted about how people that have been traumatized, they tend to graduate towards additional trauma. And oftentimes it's because, one, they don't know that these issues have not been addressed and or resolved, and or they're comfortable being treated a certain way. You know, they're comfortable sitting in the back, being talked to a certain way.
Right.
They're comfortable having people do things to them, and they're hurt by it and shy, but they're comfortable in those feelings. And so for our audience today, we're not so much going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about how to get out and what is it that we should be doing as organizations and as human beings, particularly of the female persuasion. How can we make this better for us? And I know I got on your nerves about this too. But
that's hard to do.
Well, I was very excited that you kind of reciprocated the conversation. But as women, people look at women differently, and we have historically. And on one of the shows that we talked about before, in a couple of weeks, we had Queen Afee, who was a guest, and we talked about many of the cycles of domestic violence and some of the tags that they wear. But we started talking about how women are viewed differently. Absolutely. We're oftentimes viewed as, less than a man, sometimes less than a woman. The different types of women within different classes. Black women are different from white women. Black women are different from Asian women. We don't need to be paid as much as men. Right. We don't need to have all these programs. We certainly don't need to take care of our body and our health, because the federal government understands that we're okay and we don't need additional services or medical provisions and things of that nature. And so while I think all of that is wonderful and great, and we have a huge variety of organizations that are there to support women and give them hugs and all those things, y'all know that I don't do that. I'm not the huggy type, so don't come to me.
I love hugs.
Look, and you guys know I'll bring days.
On certain days.
I am bringing them to you. I'm not the resource, but I will make sure that you have them. I'm not that huggy type.
Right.
But what I'd like to see is more of our organizations, after the hug, what are you doing to advance them to the next level?
Absolutely. Like you said, the fluff.
Exactly.
It's cute. That's cute. But, what are we doing moving forward to really get to the meat of the issue? Because covering it up and that's nice, but at the end of the day you're still going back to an abusive situation, or it may not be with that particular person. And you spoke on a couple days ago, you go from one relationship to another relationship, a different body, but it's the same person. It's the exact same person, because you're seeking what they bring to the table, and they're seeking. It's like that energy. They see that vulnerability in you. So it's like you are, like people say, you are what you attract. So if you're in a desolate place and you're hurt people, and hurt people attract other hurt people.
Because it's a comfort thing. It's a comfort
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely.
I know we also made this joke, and please note this is a joke, and I know sometimes it's hard to tell when I'm joking and when I'm being serious because my sarcasm
Well, she already told you, she gave the disclaimer, so calm down.
But I've seen a lot of things on social media where women say, oh, well, this man, Bob did this or Bob did that, and Bob is trifling, yada, yada. How come women don't tell other women in a healthy fashion about Bob? Now, if Bob mistreated you, he stole your money, he took your car, he beat you down, how come we're not trying to get help for Bob instead of passing him on to
Tasha, and then Sheena, and then Lisa, and then it becomes a perpetuated cycle.
And Bob go run through the crew, but Bob is still Bob, with the violence, the anger, the issues. How is it that we're not addressing
the only issue that I have with that personally, okay, I understand the camaraderie amongst sisters, but if Bob isn't actively seeking help, or he doesn't see that he quote unquote needs help.
Have we told Bob that he?
Yeah, on several occasions.
No, not when he's hitting you. Not when he's hitting you, because he's definitely not listening to.
Okay.
But the abusers, they come back around.
Absolutely.
And this is after I done beat you down. This is after I done talk crazy to you with the pushing your face and all this. But when I'm in my apologetic state.
Okay.
And when I'm remorseful.
Right.
Not truly remorseful, because truly remorseful implies change your behavior.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
But when I'm remorseful, and we can have these conversations, Bob, I want you to understand that when you hit me last week, that physically hurt me, it hurt my feelings, it caused trauma to our kids, and I want you to get some help.
I like that.
Y'all can use that.
Use that.
I like that. Insert the name, switch out Bob's name for,
it will work for Mike as well. Tony. Yes, Jim.
Might not work for Day, but they ain't hard-headed.
Exactly.
But
Day is comfortable.
Yes, we need to start having these conversations with our men. And if you can't have these conversations with our men, guess what? They got homeboys. Right. They probably have family members. You probably are comfortable with their mothers, their sisters, their cousins. But it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying and the timing for it.
Right.
We need to make sure that they get these help, because I've said it before, a lot of these things don't just happen. This anger isn't something that just popped up. One of my favorite shows, Snapped, Annie. It's not always the snapping, but there are emotional issues that they have. There might be disorders that are tied into some of that anger, and they actually need help. They don't just need the restraining order. They don't just need you to keep calling the police, but they need additional services to help them correct that.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, he go end up further past Jessup, where all the rest of the men that are getting locked up and incarcerated, because what they needed was some help, as opposed to having the popos pick you up.
Right. I think that's extremely key, because I know for me personally, my ex-husband, and we've been divorced for over 10 years. And
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. But he remarried. I was his second wife, so he took on another wife, which was his third wife. Same situation. And it's public records, of course. So she, as of recent, 3 months ago, has an active restraining order against him. And when I saw that, I was like, man, I wanted to go give her a hug or talk to her, but that was out of the question. But just like you said, until somebody stops this train, it's ultimately going to come to just extenuate and crash. And he's going to crash and burn at some point in his life. Not that I have some level of sympathy, but I do have some empathy for him, because I know he's hurting. He has to be. For anyone to have that level of hatred to impose onto another person, your wife, the mother of your children, that's not normal. That's not normal for any human being.
Not normal for a healthy human being.
Right.
Yes.
Right. A healthy human being.
I'm sorry, emotionally healthy human being.
Right. Because there are levels to healthy. But I think that what you brought up, that's important. Even people that are in emotionally abusive situations, that conversation has to be initiated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, that's not giving women carte blanche to go put all his business on Facebook. And some of y'all need to stop that anyway.
Don't do that anyway. That's not cool.
That's also not carte blanche to start telling everybody, he this, and this, and I'm gonna call your mama, yada yada. It's the way that we say it. It's the making sure that you have some sincerity, making sure that you've assessed the situation, making sure that you've gone and, okay, well, he's at work, or he's somewhere, let's have this conversation with your mom. And it's not done out of anger. These things should never be done out of animosity. And what you said earlier about the new wife, while there are some times where those things are completely justified, it's calming down that petty. If you have to do it with some pettiness, and if it gives you some gratification on the inside, then that's not what you should be doing. And that's absolutely not the time to do it. But it's about making sure that we're looking out for each other. And the only way that we can look out for Tasha and Shaniqua is to make sure that we're talking to that man, that we're talking to that alleged perpetrator about, sweetie, you need some help. Because if you don't get some help, we both going to jail. So
Right.
and I can't go to jail.
Right. I don't look good in orange.
I have some stuff that I need to do, so I can't go to jail. So my only other reprise is to try to help him. Look, let me help you so that I don't go to jail.
Right, and because you think about it, there at some point in time there was an emotional connection to that person. So, you have to have some level of compassion because they are hurting. And in order for us not to perpetuate that same hurt onto somebody else, whether it's inadvertently, because we do it. We remove ourselves from an abusive situation, and we don't know that we're harboring bitterness until we start talking. It's like, oh my God, all of that hurt and anger, is just spewing out, and it's like, you know what, I gotta stop this and give this pain an expiration date, because we're human. We have to go through the process of invoking healing, the healing process, but you have to give it an expiration date because life does go on.
And I like how you said that, but I'm going to respectfully disagree because that everybody ain't trying to change, and some people are comfortable.
That's right.
Being again in their unhappy place.
And that, bring that up, please, because I love that, because I'm not one of those people, but I come across those people all the time, and I just want to say, look, come on, you gotta shake out of it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Again, as a family life educator, I'm always, reading research, going through the journals, seeing, what information is newly published about, things that affect us. And of course, domestic violence not only runs into physical issues, but it impacts, whether or not you're going to have finances to take care of yourself, whether or not you're going to be able to send your kids to school because, you're too embarrassed or you're too hurt to get out of the bed. Whether or not you're going to be able to go to work because you have that black eye, you don't have any makeup to cover it up. So it does impart a huge area, but I've had to learn that not everybody wants help. And so I've had to make that official disclaimer in my life that when I'm talking to people, well, you should do this only if you want to change. Because if you don't want to change, you keep on doing what you're doing.
Right.
And we okay with that. We just go walk around you and pray for you. But if you're trying to change, these are the steps that you need to take.
Absolutely. So. And that's another part of why I don't share my personal story with everyone, because it's like everyone isn't ready. Like you said, some people aren't ready for the raw, uncut realness of, look, this is how things right. So when you're talking to someone and you're led by the Spirit to say, okay, let me use my past experience to help this person see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not always going to be that way. Like I said, a lot of people don't know that I'm a mother of 4. I have 2 grandchildren.
That's because you're so cute.
So
thank
you,
kids.
Girl. You look good too. But so it's a harsh reality. I was homeless for a while. And that's another harsh reality that I don't share with everyone. There's some other things that I've had to go through, in my path of, trying to break that cycle of, like I said, I just don't share with everyone because, like you said, some people are comfortable with where they are. So,
Well, something else that I want to bring up, and my godmother, and she told me this when I was probably 18 or 19, but she said, men are like jeans. They're not going to fit you like they fit the next chick.
Absolutely.
And I was like, Well, I've always had a hard time finding the right size fitting jeans.
Right, and then I'm tall, so everything is high waters on me.
But that was impactful for me because I recognized, in my relationship, my ex-husband, he was verbally abusive.
Okay.
He reminded me of the Chris Rock guy, like, I never hit you, but I'll shake the shit out of you. And mind you, that was something that we struggled with in our relationship. Ultimately, it was the reason that, I decided to divorce him because he wasn't ready to let that go. He also had some things that he needed to deal with. And he ended up remarrying, and he married wonderful woman. You know, everyone know I call her my stepwife.
Aww.
He didn't treat her that way.
Okay.
And so part of me was jealous. Dang, you gonna give her all the niceness.
And after made him and molded him, and
but it could be that sometimes two people don't just belong together.
Absolutely.
You may bring out something in one person, but in another person you may elicit a completely different response.
Right.
And mind you, after I got over my that I realized that wow, he really is this great guy that I first met. That we had this great wedding and all these things.
Right.
But more importantly, my kids get to see how a husband and wife interact.
Right.
I love you, sweetie. Oh,
right.
Oh, that upset me. That hurt my feelings. Let's go talk about it. Like I said, because we never got that. But she was able to enjoy that, and I appreciated that, and I respected. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that was just us.
Right.
Maybe that was just us.
And may I commend you on that, because that is so key, especially as far as co-parenting, effectively co-parenting, because like I said, I never got the chance to experience that. It was like, okay, I'm happy for your new relationships, but it was always, oh, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And I'm like, why do you hate me? We're not even together anymore.
But I still hate you.
Right? But I'm like, the thing is, we need to come together and effectively co-parent these children. We're not talking about 1 or 2 children. We have 4 children together. So it just, like I said, it created so much at that time. It created so much hardship in my life, and he intentionally did that. And like I said, I commend you in your situation. When I see 2 parents and 2 families effectively communicating, it doesn't even matter how the 2 adults feel about each other. As long as the kids are happy, that's awesome. So.
And that, I say that all the time with our blended families, that raising children, you want to look at your children. Your children are the business. Absolutely. And you want your business to flourish. You want your business to make money. You want your business to have all these awesome things. And the other parent is your business partner.
Absolutely.
So you have to talk and make things work to make sure that your business flourishes. Like I said, I didn't always like him. We didn't always agree. Me and my stepwife didn't always, agree on, well, what you buying the kids and where you taking them. But we recognize, okay, but the kids are going somewhere safe.
Right.
The kids are going to have clothes that they can go to school. The kids are, going to make sure that they're still saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, that they're being respectful in school and doing their homework and things of that nature.
Right.
So, I do want to add that caveat. I mean, just like marriage, a lot of people, especially us women, sometimes we get, oh, marriage is great. No, it's not always great. There's nothing that's always great except the goodness of the Lord. But
absolutely.
in that, you can make it what you want it to be.
Absolutely.
You can make it what you want it to be.
Absolutely.
And you take most of the good and try to let the bad things be minimal.
Right.
Make them minimal.
Right. And I'm always pro marriage anyway. So like you said, whether it's me or whomever, I'm always pro marriage. And when it comes to effectively co-parenting, I'm so big on that. Because I just see so many individuals, adults that don't do it. And why is that? I don't get that.
Because women are crazy. We crazy.
We're crazy, but I mean, we're not the only ones, though. It's
no. I say we because I can speak for me.
Right, me. I know.
For me and the people that look like me. Now, when men are completely different from us.
Right.
And a lot as women, we don't understand that. We don't recognize that they think different.
Right.
They formulate their opinions differently than we do ours.
Right.
They value things differently from us.
Absolutely.
And so, while I say women are crazy, men look at us like that. But also, men, they have their own special type of crazy. And until we start to understand that we're different, then we can kind of come together better.
Right. Okay.
So, but okay. So going into part 2 of, I can't believe she just said that, and I don't know why she said it. Part 2 of that is again the other side of the hug. So after I have hugged you, I want to sit down with you and say, okay, well, what is it that you need, and how can we get you there?
Okay.
And these are also the tools that I'm going to give you to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Right.
I hardly ever see that when I meet with a lot of the people that are doing domestic violence or, looking at their websites, going to some of their events. They don't talk about the after effect because you see a child. And as parents, I say this, I speak freely as a parent. If my kid goes, oh, I burned myself on the stove. Oh, I'm so sorry you burned it. Oh, we're going to take care of this. Now, you know not to take yourself back over to that stove. So where is that part of the conversation to help us move past you going back into the cycle of being a victim?
Right. You're saying where is our piece as educators, as advocates in the community?
And I know I don't want to say it's hard to do, but it's necessary.
Absolutely.
And I think that if we don't teach, you call yourself a survivor. Mm-hmm. When I hear women say that they're a survivor, mm-hmm. I hear enlightenment. That mm-hmm. you know how not to go back into that.
Absolutely.
Because there are other women, I'm a victim. Okay.
No,
because you're still a victim because you haven't learned how to survive it. You haven't learned, I met this man, he said this, he did this, okay, I need to walk away. Mm-hmm. You've learned the tools for survivorhood mm-hmm. and that the organizations are putting them out there. We're having these candid conversations
Absolutely.
About, okay, so you met this guy, he behaves like this. Isn't that just like mm-hmm. Bob? And he had the same traits as Bob. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's different.
Yeah. Different name. His name is Richard, but he's the same person. He's the exact same person. And wisdom teaches us when a person shows you or displays those qualities that you've gone through with another person, you immediately remove yourself. So, I mean, unless you want to go through the
So wisdom teaching it. So wisdom's teaching that, but are the organizations teaching that? Is Serenity's Door teaching that?
Well, we
are we gonna be doing it soon?
I know. Well, yes, absolutely. Because, like I said, I tell people all the time, I speak on and I teach what I've literally experienced, what I've gone through. Like I said, we offer the if you go onto my website, we offer the clothing, the toiletries. Diapers, for women and children that are in immediate need of those types of items. So yeah, of course, like that's what I experienced, mm-hmm. In my own life. So I know it is important to, especially to get to this point where you're a CEO of your own organization and you're in a position to empower so many other women, children, and even men, So that's our calling. So that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's important to note that, some of the workshops that you all mm-hmm. have, they're, again, doing the aftercare services. Like mm-hmm. you said, the shelter, you need that right away.
Right.
The clothes for your kids, you mm-hmm. need that right away. Yep. Whether or not you're getting vouchers because you need food, those are things that you need immediately. But after that,
right.
you need to make sure that you come and allow us to show you what a healthy relationship looks like. We need to show you how to heal yourself from recognizing things that you tend to attract.
Right.
That you met this man. Oh, well, he don't have a place to stay, so he's going to come and move in with me. Mm-mm. Oh, okay, but do you know this man before he moves in? Have you met his family and why he can't move in with his family?
Right.
Why he can't move in with his grown children?
Right.
But again, helping women get past that.
Right. I think the key component to that is teaching women to just simply love themselves wholeheartedly. I stress that to the max. When you get to a point where I tell people all the time, and this is for men and women, especially as women, because we're natural born nurturers. Mm-hmm. I'm selfish all the time. I love my community service. I love doing but understand this. I come first and my family comes second. Nothing supersedes that. Not community, nothing. So if someone calls me to do an event, to help out with something, and one of my children, they need me, I'm going to be over here with my children because, again, I'm a single parent now. So, I see so many people, will take that community and say, oh, okay, my community comes first. No, my first ministry is to my children and to my family, myself also. So if I'm not taking care of myself, I don't have the strength to take care of them. And then if they're not taken care of, I can't be over here taking care of anyone's community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if I don't effectively run my household and my home, I can't be over here running a business. So there's a proper order for everything. So like I said, just learning to celebrate yourself, pamper yourself, just loving yourself and getting to a point a healthy point of being selfish and being okay with that and just saying no. Just saying no.
I'm in my mind. I'm imagining Supergirl. You putting on the Supergirl costume.
I don't play Supergirl.
No. And let me hear me out.
Yeah.
When you put on the Supergirl costume, the Supergirl, she can do it all, and the bad dudes can't come in because she got the strong costume on. You know, can't get bad vibes. Right. You know, you can't get trifling dudes. You can't get
stay away. Hold up, may I say something? I'm sorry, but these trifling dudes, they are coming in disguise now. They coming with degrees. So they are articulate. They're not just Ray from off the corner. They are coming with, degrees, and they have nice cars. So don't fall for the banana and the okie doke. Exactly. So
he ain't an abuser. He trying to dance.
Right. Exactly. So just be conscious of, like you was saying, just pay attention
and talk.
Communicate.
Yes.
Communicate, because people will tell you so much. Just listening to the things that they don't say. Mm-hmm. I could ask you questions all day, so you're going to give me the best you. Well, you're not, because you're wrong. But for the most part, when you meet a person, they're giving you, their representative. But listen to what they're saying when you aren't in direct communication, how they operate with other people. Just watch their actions and their moves.
So just having a conversation. So say, baby, what your name is and what's your sign? That's not that conversation. You need to go into more deep conversation.
Absolutely, because ask thought-provoking questions. But I say again, some people are really good. Abusers are manipulators. They're master manipulators. So just that conversation, that thought-provoking conversation, is not gonna give you the gift of discernment and say, oh, okay, I see you a mile away. Some of them are pretty cunning.
I'm going to offer an additional side to that.
Okay.
Kind of what we touched on earlier about, putting stuff out on social media.
Oh,
I like this, and I like that, and flowers. I like purple flowers, mm-hmm. and I like long walks on the beach. Mm-hmm. I guess Bob, we're not going to use Bob. We're going to use Tyrone.
Tim? Okay, Tyrone.
Tyrone.
I like
that's
Tyrone.
Tyrone driver Benz, and he worked for the government.
And he's tall and fine.
But they've already gone through your social media profile, so I know exactly what to say to you. Yes. So I was over here, I got a garden full of purple flowers. You do? Oh my goodness, I love purple flowers.
Coincidence.
I was just thinking about, something, but I was thinking I was walking, on a beach, and, I don't know if you like that sort of thing.
My God, I love the beach.
Really? I didn't know that.
Wow.
So again, we're always, I can't believe he was so wonderful, and we just had this great connection. Yeah, because you gave him all the keys to come and get you. Gave him all the keys to come get you. So,
Right.
Yeah, right. Again, not understanding the disconnect is to where we don't see that it's something different. He's great. He has all these things, and we're not saying everybody, look, all the men that driving Benz are trifling. Just a small percentage of them might be.
Right. Maybe. So you don't want to miss your Mr. Right.
Because we told you he was in a Benz.
Exactly.
But yeah, we have to be accountable for our own actions.
Absolutely.
And if he's coming to you, again, saying everything, again, accept it, but be a little cautious. Take your time. Still have these conversations. And this isn't present him a list of things on your first day. Well, what about this, and this? Don't no man want to hear that. That's one. Let me say that. No man want to hear that. But you can have meaningful conversations on a date. You can have meaningful conversations as, you guys going to get an oil change. He met you, come take a look at my car. Right. He met you, you guys are at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. So it's not, drilling a man, because no man wants that. As a woman, I don't want that either.
Exactly. And I don't want to feel like I'm on an interview, so don't ask me a million questions.
Mm-hmm. But it's again, well, tell me, how, when's the last time you seen your mom? Well, tell me about, you and your cousin. Oh, I heard your job did this. So it's everyday conversations to actually get to know a person.
Absolutely.
Y'all talking about, rap and, oh, you like kids, and oh, you like my kids. Yeah, that's good, great, but take some time to have additional types of things that you talk about, because that's how you really get to learn about a person. Right. One of my good friends told me that, and I actually went and found some research that support this. One of the best ways to ascertain a person is to go out on a date with them, but to watch how they interact with their server.
Yes, I love that, because I use that. Right, and how well they tip the server.
And how they talk to them. You know, do you talk down to someone? Because even though I love servers, and I have when I worked at TGI Fridays in Bowie.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Doing this thing. Doing this project.
Red Lobster over here.
But these are people that are paid to take care of you.
Absolutely.
They're trained to make sure that they know the menu so that they can answer your questions. Well, does this come with garlic? You know, are you sauteing this in bacon or anything like that? But these are people that are there to help you. And so if you're berating the server and talking crazy to the server, I didn't tell you that. Where's my ketchup? And yeah, baby, you know, wait, you know, again, we're not paying attention to these types of things.
Right.
You know,
right.
So.
And may I also add, I don't know how much time we have.
Girl, you got time.
Okay, great.
Look, this part one of when you got to come back.
Okay, great. But we were talking about getting to know that other person. Let me say a prerequisite to that is also just totally getting to know yourself. Don't just assume because you know you're such and such age, you absolutely know what your deal breakers are, what you are able to tolerate, what you are just not able to tolerate. And like we were talking about before, just having this complete knowledge of thyself. I know for me, I love little kids, but I don't know if I could date
other people's kids or your own kids.
I have an organization. And we assist women and children. But I just know for me, just my level of I struggle with patience. So like when my grandson comes over, I'm like, okay, he's cute. Let's come get him, please, because all that running around and extra energy that he has is just way above, you know, my tolerance level, and that's just knowledge of thyself.
And again, it's not a bad
It's
thing.
healthy, right? I mean, this is me. So if I try to cover it up and say, oh, okay, I could, you know, date someone with a small child, I would be doing him and also myself a tremendous disservice, because I know that's not what I'm willing to, you know, put up with.
Right. So. And I appreciate you saying that, because we have, look, you know how I love children. I have this beautiful 4-year-old godchild, and her mom will call me, hey, you want to come pick her up? No. I love, look, but you need anything?
Right.
You know,
does she need anything?
Look another day?
Right. That's how I am. You need anything?
So, but, you know, that does tie into knowing yourself, and when you know yourself, know that we're supposed to evolve. You know, God made us as creatures to learn, you know, so we should always be receptive to new things. Well, I don't like that. Well, have you tried it? No. So how do you know you don't like it?
Right.
Well, such and such said they didn't like it, so I don't like it either.
Right.
But as women, we also tend to get in this, well, I have to date him because he the only one that like me. He the only one to call. Nah. I ain't gonna meet nobody else. No?
No.
Because I'm like, I know it's like...
That's like settling. That's the same as settling. You know,
No. I'm like I said, I'm with you. Yeah. Because there are 49 other states. We also have a territory in Puerto Rico. There are
other nationalities.
6 other continents, you know, so there are men and women everywhere.
Absolutely.
Everywhere. So please don't think that you have to take, well, this is the only guy that showed interest in me. Okay, well, you don't drive outside of your the block that you live on. So the only men you go meet are the DirecTV guy, the Comcast guy, the mailman. And maybe the Uber Eats driver.
That's his part-time job. He has a good government job. Right. But and then also we overlook the guys that we deem are corny or he may not be as attractive, or he may not have he doesn't have a Benz, or he doesn't have a nice vehicle. So nah, I don't know. Or he's living with his mom, but he's saving for a house.
I dated this guy many moons ago.
Okay.
And he drove this little hoopty.
Okay.
And of course I met him outside of the car.
Okay.
But when we finally had an opportunity to go somewhere, I met him and he was standing next to his hoopty, and I was like, oh, okay.
Was he cute?
Oh, he was fine.
Okay, he had compensating factors.
Him still is fine. But again, I was like, dang, he got a hoopty, and I got this new car that I'm driving, but hey, that's you, boo. And I looked at it as, well, he driving a hoopty. That means he ain't paying a car note that I'm paying. So you should have somebody to pay for dinner.
Exactly.
Because my funds is low, so you ain't paying no. Again, you're not paying the car note, the extra insurance because you got a hoopty. So there's a possibility that I'm gonna get a good dinner out of this.
Exactly.
But I also learned within my patience, I learned that this dude had a Range Rover and he had a Benz in the garage.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he did that for the sole purpose because he noticed sometimes Shaniqua can be trifling and selfish, and I'm just
because she hasn't been groomed to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, and so that kind of goes to tie it all up into some, be open to and be receptive to new things, and don't lock yourself into a box. And that's important because you never know. I said, if I would have dismissed him, or I ain't talking to him because he's dominant, I would have seen him on the corner eventually pull up in that Range Rover. Hey, how you doing? And he would have, kept on driving.
So yeah, like we said, and even like the ones we deem nerdy, or for me, I'm almost 6 feet tall, so there's so many guys. I can't date him. He's not tall enough.
Don't you get, there's like this little portable stool that you can bring, so you can stand on the stool. Girl, you gotta help a brother out. Bring your stool.
Or just wear super flats all the time.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. But there's some,
because God's got a blessing for you. God has a blessing for each and every one of His children. Now, it may not be in the box that you think it is.
That's the key. That's the key.
And I used to do that to my kids all the time. Give them something a little small, but it'd be in 3 big old boxes. They're like, oh, this is great.
Right.
Like, oh, it's even better. So sometimes it's just a different box. You're looking for a Tiffany box, and he sent it to you in an Amazon Prime box.
Right. So. And it's still of the same quality, but it's just in a different box.
Okay. To circle around, look, before we end the show, a lot of our, our banter and our joking about dating and what you should look for, it still is tied into how do we get out of that victimization and knowing that you have options and knowing that there are things that you have to recognize that will not benefit you if you continue looking for a certain type of individual. If you I only want to date, dudes that's 6 feet tall, and those tend to be every 6 foot tall person you come to, those are all guys that have abused you. Does that say you shouldn't talk to anyone else that's 6 feet? No. It means that you need to dig a little deeper into what also you might need, whether it's in a nice gentleman that's 5'5" or, a nice gentleman that's 5'7", but recognizing that you have to make some change and you can't keep settling and looking for those same attributes in a person that's going to mistreat you eventually. So making the move, as Pam said, you want to move from victimhood to survivorship. Because when you carry around that victim mentality, you're only accepting and looking for people that have treated you a certain type of way.
Absolutely.
And you want to get accustomed to a man telling you, look, maybe the abusers was always telling you, yeah, baby, yeah, we can do this and this, and then he ended up beating you behind it. So maybe you have to get used to a dude that's going to tell you no. No, I don't invest in him telling me no. Yeah, but he's telling you no for your own good, babe. We can't go to the movies today because, I had to pay a little extra for this. Right. Or we can't go out of town this weekend because we have to handle some business, a toilet broke or something like that. So it's examining how you got into your victim state in the first place so that you know how to come out of that.
Right. And I think just to add, everything you said was perfectly stated. And I think also just recognizing your self-worth.
We have self-worth as women?
You said what?
I said we have self-worth as women?
Yes, we have a plethora of self-worth. So I just think that when you truly get to that place in your life, you're going to be less susceptible to just you can't even step to me, with that crazy talk, in the DM. Talk about, oh, you cute. Why are you even in my DM?
I want to tell you was
that's
cute.
You're not going to meat your future husband in your DM. Let's get that straight.
He gonna be on Facebook
a real man.
He gonna be on Facebook Messenger.
Exactly. So, I just think that, recognizing your true self-worth, digging deep within yourself, not even focusing on the person that caused you the harm, just focusing on, holding yourself accountable, for certain situations, and just loving on yourself.
Okay. I like that. And what we'll do is we'll be back to talk some more about ways that we can grow, again, coming out of being a victim into being a survivor. And as we said before, we want to have this conversation, and, Pam and I talked about this previously, to make sure that we set it, with some fun and some jokes, some entertaining. But all these things are very serious about
Absolutely.
ways that you can change, ways that you can empower yourself, ways that you can grow and be a better woman and or a better man to your kids, to your community, and more importantly, to yourself. So while, like I said, I hope that we brought this in a fun fashion, but know that we're serious. We need to make changes for ourselves. And if you're in a situation to where you're constantly being hurt, you're in a situation to where you're constantly being put down, you're constantly being abused, you can get help. And we not only go help you with some hugs and some shelter and a place to stay, but we also go help you grow. You're going to need to get your stuff together, and this is exactly how you need to do it.
That's the realness.
Absolutely. So again, we want to thank you for tuning in for this week's Shaynel's 3 Cents. Make sure that you go to our website, check out some of the resources that we have out there for you at www.obfforyou.org. Make sure that you follow Miss Pam Hawk. Can you give us your website and info?
Yes, www.serenitiesdoor.org is my website. Miss Pam to you _ that's my personal Instagram. Serenity's Door, everything. IG, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. Again, we appreciate you tuning in. We look forward to connecting with you again next week, same time, same bat channel. And as always, you may not like it, but at least you heard it. Absolutely. We'll see you back.
Thank you.